Tube's up. Or it's going to be up. Doo-doo-doo. Yoink, 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 yoink. Yoink. There you go. If you haven't been to the YouTube stream before, you should go check it out. Apparently the video quality is much better. But at the very least, pop over there and hit that button. Well, I don't see anything super obvious other than that turbo encabulator. And for you lovely people on YouTube, we are working on a freshly tuned and modified GTI. It is running poorly. It barely stays running. It's got a giant, what sounds like a vacuum leak. We looked under here, didn't see anything super obvious except for that right there, which is your turbo recirc valve actuator, whatever you want to call it. But it's got a bunch of oil on it, and the connector looks like it's oily. I don't know if that's going to be related. I really want to investigate that. I want to pull it out, see how much oil's in it, see if the boot's on the thing's torn, if it's the updated version of that thing, etc., etc. So we're going to get to that. Why, thank you. Don't thank me. Thank YouTube for making a good quality video stream. Best costume I had was when he got under the car over the night, and suddenly I checked under the car, and they say he stole his cat converter. Oh, customer, not costumer. I was thinking costume because Halloween. Yeah, it's not the first time. We had a body shop. We fix cars for the body shop up the street pretty often, and a year or so ago, year and a half ago, they had to bring us 13 cars that had all of their cats stolen. If it was high enough off the ground to get to the catalytic converter, they stole it. Well, potpourri beta male. Spend money now or spend money later. Those are your two options. And later it could cost more, much more, depending on how long you wait. So that's the choice. Oh, I want to see how much oil's in that connector. Oh, surprisingly none. That's good. That's good. That is good. Before I get too oily. Man. Hold on, let me go rinse off my hands and put on my gloves, because why not? It's wintry. It's starting to get chilly and the air's getting dry. So rather than wash my hands 100 times a day, like I normally do during the summer, just try to keep some oil off of them. Although the only downside to that is, I don't know if my wife cares or not, but she likes my scratchy hands, because then she can get a back rub and a back scratch at the same time. Exfoliates and massages. You can use ramps, you can use a slope of a hill, you can do all sorts of things. Did you find a tire that's got a leak? What?
This is the one he was complaining about, the driver's side rear.
Just hose her down. Good morning, Root Beer. And Jeremy and I are geek. You want to change your oil like at min 10,000 miles, at maximum 10,000 miles for synthetic. I'd do it at like 7,500. I'm fine. And you too. Just because we're gonna get on the swearing train. $3,000 for regular. Screw 10,000. Jesus. You want a new engine? Getting this turbo encabulator thing out. There's just no convenient way to grab this bastard. One. Oh, nuts. Where'd it go? Right there. Out. Thank you. A very oily 2. Fell into the wheel. How convenient. And 3. All right, what is this messed up setup they got? Well, at least it's the new style one. ECS tuning. Yeah, it lets it vent to atmosphere instead of venting to back into the turbo. But it's new style, or updated-esque. Just gonna clean it up. Off! And I'm trying my best to break it. He's gonna need a tire? Oh, spring's gone. Where'd I put this? Where did the spring shoot to? Good thing I have another one of these that I can take parts out of. That's what I'm missing. I lost a spring. A spring that sprung. Where did you go, Mr. Spring? Or am I just gonna have to pull out one of my spare parts and tear it apart? Off to a good start this morning. No, what happens is this little center thing's got a spring in it, and if you jiggle it too much, like you can pop it up and down enough, it'll pop the middle out. It's just held in there by an O-ring. It's not like held in there by a clip or anything. So if it's not being bolted down to something, it can pop out. Oh, that's a stick. Problem is it's a frickin' spring and it could be any damn where on the shop floor now. Where's my flashlight? Hello, Scandal. Well, I guess time to pull out a spring of a different one. I'm just worried I threw them all away. I'm such a pack rat. Hopefully I did not. Otherwise, we're off to a good start in this diagnosis. Also, I think I have a touch of a cold or something. My sinuses are pretty upset. And I got like a little bit of a scratchy throat. But I'm pretty sure it's because my sinuses are draining down my throat. Ha! There it is. Hey, no, if you see a spring like this rolling around, I need it. It's like that, so. Good part is I have spares, so I can just gut this one and take the spring from it. But I would like the other one back to put on there. There we go. Problem solved. I don't know, I gave up looking for it. I looked all on the ground for a little while. It probably rolled under something because it's a spring. So it's just like if you're sweeping or tidying up or something, then you find a spring like that, that'd be good to put it back in the old one so we at least have another spare for when I drop the next one. You know what I do with the blow-off part? Big red piece, can't miss it. But yeah, you can see how they've updated it. This was the first update. This was the second update, this cage. And then there's I don't know if there's a third update at this point. Oh, there it is. All right, well, it looks okay. Wipe off the surface up there while I'm here. The upper cover's puking oil is one thing that's happening for sure. I do not like putting this particular thing back in with all this extra crap. Oh, there we go. It's not hard to get out. It's just 3 bolts. trying to get better at letting you guys see what I'm actually doing. Rip. It's harder to do one-handed, that's for sure. There's two. All right, I gotta my armrest for a second. I'm losing feeling in my hands. Good morning, Apex. It's the only problem about working above your head all the time. But good morning, everybody. We on the front page at all? We getting any lovely new people in here today? I hope so. Nope. Actually, 0 yet. So that's interesting. Usually you get some little front page recommendations. I'm just gonna get the top one in when I have two hands, because you gotta kind of use both. You gotta use one to hold the ratchet up there and the other one to turn the wrench. That makes it way faster. There we go. Yep, and yep. I'll plug that back in. But it does help if you unmute the stream. Ugh, it's tempting to break my own rules today. But we shan't. We shall talk about cars. All right, let's see if we can find any other spots that might be awful. Why did they assume I had to take off the intake? My wife and my mom always said I have a rubber face. I can make a lot of funny faces. Oh, it doesn't look like that's good for this one. I'm gonna have to inspect that water pump pretty closely. This is another car. This is an Audi A5. It's got a coolant leak somewhere.
I didn't see the message for it when I cranked it up. There was warm minutes. It said that it happened when it was on cold startup.
I see a crusty spot.
Yeah.
What about cold startup?
A coolant light came on cold startup sometimes.
I mean, the levels like that.
Levels right on minimum.
I actually bit my cheek when I was talking. That's special. I am a special person.
Levels like right on minimum when I pulled it in.
Yeah.
That looked a little
There's a little crust around that hose T.
Yeah.
I'll have to keep
See
looking.
it from the top a little bit too.
Yeah, we'll go look from there when you're done with this. But yeah, that upper cover's leaking.
Yeah, I put that on the ticket. So.
Cool. Ow. Well, I've been doing it for 5 years. So 1 year is just another year. And thank you. Does it look like he's missing any bolts? No, they seem to be there. The intake seems to be tight. Seemingly. Get all the bolts on it. This thing supposedly has a giant vacuum leak somewhere. I think the crankcase vent valve is shot. And a way we can kind of test that. 2019 Subaru Outback with 90,000 kilometers. 2 more years to pay off the car. We're trading in now for a newer model. Thoughts? I don't know. I don't know too terribly much about the even newer model Subarus. I'm just starting to learn more about the like next gen Subarus, which is, you know, 2015, 2016s. No, that's for the secondary air pump. This feeds into the secondary air pump. This is the air filter. This is the intake. He's got a straight pipe exhaust. We're off to a good start. Oh, right, I went over there to get the thing. Almost the weekend. Yeah, pretty much. It is almost the weekend. Is this one the right size for that? Except it's got stupid little... Man. Well, blocked off the PCV system, so let's see if this helps it idle any better. Maybe we can get a better idea. I just wanted to make sure that this thing didn't... It's probably going to try and suck in, but it shouldn't. If it does, then we'll be in some shit, but I don't see why it would. Holy Jeebus. I found the vacuum leak. Because I found an oil leak now. That just happened. Just pushed out all that oil. This is what, so generally what happens on these cars is this is the oil separator, PCV, it's like a whole big unit. It's this chunk right here. And this thing goes bad, the diaphragm goes bad, it sucks in, it starts pulling a full vacuum, a full intake vacuum on the crankcase, which then stops any oil leaks because it's sucking it into the intake. And so this was probably whistling. So now that I blocked off the PCV and it's not pulling a vacuum on the engine, this starts pumping out oil because it's a freaking giant leak right there.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is I hope it didn't suck in the rear main too, which it may have. It is.
Really scary. Well, for him.
Yeah. Actually, you want to help me for a second and I'll get you to start the car up like that because we're going to talk it. I think I found a leak. I got to clean it off first so that way we can see it. I tick it like I talk it. Clean, 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 clean. I guess I'll put my phone down before I get carb cleaner on it, or brake cleaner. Hey man, I gotta take advantage of every social media I can at this point. You kids and your clocks. Your clocks? Yeah, your clocks. You know, the thing they call that TikTok thing. Why? What are you doing with all those clocks?
So you're
Oh
telling
God.
me-
Why is it always a bunch of women on my TikTok? I haven't searched anything on TikTok yet. I don't scroll through TikTok. I just load it up, go to make one, and that's it. But it's always some thing on the front. This is what's wrong with the American today. All right, you want to pop in there so you can start it up when ready? Sweet. All right, we might have a bit of a vacuum leak. We blocked off the intake because this has probably failed. Go ahead and fire it off. And maybe this is a problem too. Maybe. Okay. Maybe just a touch. Nope. That can't be good. Look how much oil. I just cleaned that all the way off.
Yeah, I could see it on camera.
Oh, you could?
Started to
Nice.
pour out. Damn.
Looks beautiful. She goes from suck to blow. I guess you could say she went from suck to blow. Perfect. Mechanic. I gotta add all the damn tags. You kids and your silly tactics. Good morning from Columbia, South Carolina. True statement, Portland Frank. But we'll discuss that on Sunday. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Well, let's see. Oh, cool. Well, then he knows where he can take his car. Uh-oh, we're 20 followers away from 50,000. You think we can do it today, boys? And we're 46 away from 5,800 on YouTube subs. So, yeah. Upper cover crankcase vent valve is what I got to start with. This crankcase vent valve. However, let's see if we have the rebuild kit. I think we have another rebuild kit. Maybe let's check the diaphragm real quick and see what it looks like. This thing's a pain in the dunk to get off, but it is doable. But yeah, we had, this is switching over to baseball talk for my baseball team. One of the parents pulled their kids because they were like, the poor kid had like ankle surgery or some sort of medical procedure. And then the doctor said he was good to come and play sports. And so I'm pretty sure Mama is being a little overprotective because they pulled him from the team because they were like, oh, he's just not getting along with the kids or something. I don't remember exactly what it was. My wife told me all about it. And the poor kid, like, barely left his mom's side while they were there. Where is it? At his reservoir? Nice. Oh, really? Oh, let me look at this real quick. That is definitely a crack. You are spot on with that, and it's dripping down on all that crap. Yep.
And then there might be a tiny one on this hose because we see around.
Yeah, around that
And then it's
connector.
dripping all over this one a little bit.
That is the lower radiator hose assembly. I tell them to quote both. I'd start with this one, and then we can double check that one once it's got a sealed tank. But I don't know. Every time the kid ever had a problem, he would run over to his mom and like not ask the coach or not ask me or my wife, which is I'm the coach. So, but yeah, like that was it. And she was like, he doesn't seem to be getting along with all the kids or something like that, I think was part of it. And my wife was like, he barely interacted with anybody. I don't think so. I don't know IPA. You might want to pop over into YouTube and see if Rotax is around. He might know. If it's easy to replace a thermostat in your Silverado. The problem is getting these clips off this thing is a pain in the butt. Aha. So I just kind of felt bad for the kid. It doesn't heat up very fast. That would be my probably first assumption, is that your coolant, your thermostat would be a little slow on the uptake. Come on, pop, before you break my pick. My pick's getting all bent. Come on, look at that. It's getting all bendy. Ah, there we go. It's like 4. Let's see if we can get to 5. And I think once we get this one off, it should pretty much come off. I hate you, phone. It's inevitably going to be somebody I don't want to talk to. Is it my wife? Nope. Then I don't want to talk to you. Might also be your heater core. Is the engine temp not rising fast enough, or is it just the heater core, maybe? Let's see if we can find a giant hole in this diaphragm. There it is. Nope. That's just dirty, dirty, dirty. Oh, there it is. There's the hole. Let me see if we can get one of these. We can usually get these little diaphragms. So, let me see if we can get that diaphragm. Rip diaphragm. Flex tape? Flex tape. Oh, if we can get it, yeah, it's an easy fix. Whoop. Lock my wheel. Hold on one second. Let me go up front and tell David to see if he can order one of those repair kits. Oh, there's David. But yes, David, it'll look something like such. It'll look something like this. I think this diaphragm should come out from the inside. This little.
Actually from WorldPack, but I'll try.
It was?
Yep.
Oh, well then order one from WorldPack.
And it's the crankcase vent diaphragm.
Correct. It's got a nice big old tear in it. That's the first of many problems it has, but I want to start with this. Yeah, cool. You guys can hear me. Good morning, Jeffers. Make sure that they're warm, you know. Make sure that one's not getting super hot and the other one's cold. But if the thermostat's stuck, it'll overcool the engine because it'll be circulating throughout the entire system instead of just through the engine and the block and the core until it gets warmed up, and then it'll open it up once it's at a certain temperature. But, you know, you can do some tests on that. There should be a spec time that's in all data. I'm sure you have access to it somewhere. IPA is that should be able to look up the spec of how long it takes for the car to idle to go from whatever temp to operating temp, you know, with a rough temp range. Like if it's freezing outside, it's going to take a little longer. If it's not so cold, then it'll take less time. But because like I think when I was looking at Volkswagens, it said it should go from like 32 various degrees to 65 in a course of like 5 minutes, just sitting at idle running. If it doesn't, then you probably have a thermostat that's stuck open. If it does, then it's not thermostat, and if you still don't have heat, then it's something else. Do 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 do. Hey, forevermore. You just throwing batteries down?
I hate trucks like this.
What's like this? A Ford F-150?
If you touch something, it's probably going to break.
Well, I mean, welcome to cars in general. If you touch it, it'll probably break. I know what you mean, though. Older plastic on older trucks and cars and stuff that
You know what I also hate?
working on cars.
You know how with these new cars, you can't ever find anything magnetic. Anything that's really steel.
Yeah.
And anytime I do, I fucking cut my finger on it. It's always sharp as shit.
Well, then find more plastic,
I
less
cut
steel.
my finger twice this week. It's freaking Wednesday.
Yeah, I busted my knuckle twice on Monday. So, and what's funny is I took the skin off of a spot where it stopped bleeding on the other spot. Jason's having a rough day. So while I have this kind of a small break, I don't know if we made the 10 o'clock run. That's the only problem. Definitely go over and check out the YouTube. If you have not already been subscribed to the YouTube, please do. That would make me quite thrilled. And there's VODs of the streams on there. Also currently the stream on there, as well as I put up repair videos and stuff all the time, where I find things or just interesting crap I find. I don't know what the purpose of TikTok is. Anybody? Well, you don't have to chat. I can agree that the Twitch is better. Twitch is a better chat. Yes, that is true. But YouTube's working on that, and that's what they're going to be focusing on for early 2022. But if there's a reason that I like to go over to YouTube for my anything and everything, is because one, their discoverability, not necessarily for the live stream, but for everything else, is much better. And two, I make more money. YouTube gives me 70% of subscribers, whereas Twitch gives me 50. So do the math. If I had 180 something subs on YouTube, oops, I'd make $600 versus 180 subs. I make 450. So yeah. Well, I guess it's 30% increase of my total income. Oh, I know. Finding the live stream on YouTube is difficult, and that's so finding live streams, the live stream discoverability. They already talked about how they're going to be working on that, like that, and the chat is the things that they're going to be working on in the next step. Like the stream quality is. I haven't met anybody yet who has gone from the Twitch stream to the YouTube stream and said the YouTube looks terrible unless they have their settings wrong. Right now, YouTube. I was already making 150 bucks from YouTube for not doing hardly anything, and I upped that to like 270. What you gotta do now?
Figure out what size the front brakes are.
Oh, because you need front brakes?
Yeah. We've got the
Pad wear sent? Oh yeah, it needs front brakes.
lights on, so.
I think you can handle those.
And then the rears are probably
The payout is going to be higher on YouTube because they do a better job of aggregating my past broadcasts. That's the short answer. Like, easy. My content, unlike gaming or many other things, it's something that people find useful from now for the next 10 years. Until this car is no longer on the road, somebody will look for something having to do with this car, and their chances of running across my channel to find it is a very big possibility, and I will get paid for their views on YouTube 10 years later. Twitch, as soon as this stream's done, that's it. I don't make any more money from it. I mean, you could say, well, we can watch the VODs on Twitch. Yeah, who watches a VOD on Twitch? Unless it's like, oh my God, I have to see this argument or something. But for my content, YouTube is very much the place it should be. But I've already put a lot of time into Twitch, so I'll use that too. That's pretty much the short answer. So it's like, I want to do both because I love Twitch for the community interactiveness, how many people like to watch it, stuff like that. I like YouTube for its longevity, the community, the fact that there's way more automotive people on YouTube, etc. So, as I've stated before, and nobody wants to believe me, YouTube is coming for Twitch. Like, they are gunning for them. They want to bury them by stealing their biggest content creators, Tim the Tap Man, all the other people that have moved over lately. They're improving their chat, they're improving the stream quality, they're improving stream discoverabilities. That's what they're working on, so I give it a year. I give it a year till most of your big Twitch people are moving over to YouTube because it's just more, unless they have a contract with Twitch that says they can't leave, then anybody who's not bound by a contract is going to be gone. They might dual stream or something. They might drop down to affiliate or cancel their contract and be like, well, I'm just going to go on both. What do I think will happen to Twitch? They'll adapt or die. They got to figure out some more ways of bringing people to the table. All right, you know where that big caliper is? Up front. I'll show you where it is. It's in that wooden thing on top of those gray, like where the, you might have to just, it's going to be on top of them. It's going to be kind of hidden, so you might have to look down on there. But no, YouTube's got the... The good part is, my contract on Twitch is so old that unless people really start getting pissy, and that means people at Twitch, not viewers, then there's nothing they can do about it. Unless they try to make me sign a new contract, which I won't do. They could just say your contract expired, you're going to go back down to affiliate. Oh no, not that. Then I'll only make $2.50 per sub, like I'm already doing. So, but anyway, on my contract, it's so old that it says I can't dual stream gameplay. It doesn't say I can't dual stream automotive content. All right, so you're gonna want to go all the way across, right down the middle of this bolt. And so you're gonna do like that, and then you gotta hold it where it is because the lock's done. It doesn't have to be super.
I just like to try and find the biggest point.
You want to find right there. You can pull it off. That's why you just got to hold the position there.
Upside down.
And we got. Is this? Oh, this is inches. That's why. We got to be on millimeters.
Wrong side.
320.
320.
It'll, I guarantee you that'll be about right. Yeah, so it'd be, it's that much for 320, or sorry, there you go, that's 320, but it's like 319, 320-ish. And so this is when you'll go up and say 320, and they'll look, and that'll probably be an option because they'll be like 320, 340, 355.
Yeah,
So it should be pretty
there's
big range.
So
He's 22, and yeah, he's learning. He came from school and CarMax. He was just doing oil changes and stuff on at CarMax. So he wanted to do more, and so he applied here, and we said, sure. But yeah, he'd be learning. He's getting better. He's learning quick. I mean, you wouldn't think he just started a month and a half ago. So the idea is I want to teach him to do what I do, so that way I can take a day off and not have to worry about the shop, like having to just say all Volkswagens go away. Because with Eric and Mike, if Eric goes on vacation, Mike can handle working on the Beamers and the Mercedes. He doesn't like it, but he can do it. If I go on vacation, nobody fixes any Volkswagens. Why is it called a stopcock? I don't know. What is a stopcock? I've heard of a petcock, which is what you drain the radiator from. Little thing that's, I guess it is, you got the radiator and you got the little thing sticking out there and it dribbles out. So maybe they call it petcock, stopcock. I guess chickens, was this written by a chicken or a rooster? I'll be immortalized forever. The brakes are shot in the car. They've tripped the wear sensors. And so it also feels like somebody slapped some pads on these. Look at the size of this lip. It's so big I could eat dinner off of it. I could be really crude, but we're on YouTube. Look at the size of that lip on that rotor. It's like a damn dinner plate. I'm trying to think of how to, it's kind of hard to show. It's probably beyond the min thickness on that. It'll buff out. I mean, we got a lathe. But yes, the YouTube quality is nicer where it comes to the viewership on the content. Did my video update? Yeah. All right, one down, one more to go today. Yeah, the pads are gone. And they're done. What'd you do? What'd you do? Did you hurt yourself? Thank God. I would not be worried about that, Shaloop. I mean, unless they start banning people for what they say on other platforms. But generally, even then, I'm not very... I don't have anything to worry about. I mostly just call people out on their stupidity. But on YouTube, it's all automotive content. There's a few game streams and stuff still, but mostly those are pretty much buried in the history, the annals of history. Yeah, I mean, that's because they're trying to discuss political topics. I'm not. I'm not trying to discuss any of those controversial topics. I'm just trying to tell you that your car needs to be fixed. Here's what you do to fix it. Let's go. Oh, I know. That's what Sundays are for, and those are only on Twitch. And I think this Sunday will be fine because my fam's not going camping again. They were supposed to, but my wife's like, I don't really want to go. And then she found out that the weather this weekend is going to be like stellar. It's supposed to be raining and like freezing. We might even get snow. I don't know. And she's like, yeah, no, we're not. We'll just show up on Saturday, do a little bit of stuff, and then we're going home because we got baseball and we got pictures and we got a bunch of other stuff to do. And then Sunday, as far as I'm aware, is pretty free. So if you like to argue politics, Sunday is where you can come and argue politics. Here. Open to whomever would like to come and discuss.
Appreciate it.
I feel like that needs more context, James. That does sound a bit weird, and I wouldn't be surprised, but I also feel like something is missing. Granted, back in the day, one of my coworkers, who doesn't work here anymore, but he used to, he has scars on his butt from where he got shot with rock salt because he was in somebody else's yard, and he knew he wasn't supposed to be there, but as he was going over the fence, he got an ass full of rock salt. Should you replace rears the same time you replace the fronts? No, you don't have to. You just want to make sure you replace both sides, like left and right. Not necessarily, not front and back. Because you want to make sure it doesn't pull in a direction. So you don't want to just replace the right side, even though I've done that before. But also, I know what I'm expecting and I know what I'm getting out of it, you know. Hey, Noah. Just for ease of use, this is the one, the red one is for the one for Volkswagens with their Take 17s, except for the only time you have to be concerned if it's a Q7.
Why is that?
They get a little heavier duty ones. But if it's a car and it's a Volkswagen, it's 120 Newton meters like clockwork. And so that just stays on top of my toolbox because I use it all the time. I know, IPA, I'm so happy. Top, just like it sits like right up here, that part. P0016 on an 09 GTI. Timing chain? Quite possibly. P0016 is the cam adjuster. It might be, is it low on oil? Make sure it's full of oil. If it isn't, or if it is full of oil, then yeah, timing chain issues are very prevalent, especially on a 2009. Do you have the updated chain tensioner in your GTI? Also, assuming that is running the same-ish motor of 2 liter and not a 2.5 liter, which I don't think they put in the GTIs. I've never seen a GTI with a 2.5. Let's put it that way. Then what you want to do there, quick shot, is you want to go, you know what? Let me just link you the YouTube video. I have a YouTube video about how to tell your chain tensioner. Where did I put it? And why do you not want to load up my content? Oh, YouTube. Give me my pictures. Oh, here we are. I wish I could just easily get a link from it. Yep. There you go. That video shows you the differences between the 2 chain tensioners, where to check it, and which ones are good and bad. We're waiting on a part. What we have found thus far is that this thing runs, for lack of a better term, piss poor. It runs better when this is blocked off because, as you can see there, up here it's got a giant tear in the diaphragm. You see that big hole? So it's allowing full vacuum to be pulled onto the crankcase. So I want to change that diaphragm. No, nobody's broken into our shop at all. The worst thing they've done is they've broken into the backyard, which they've jumped the fence. So, and they tried to steal a car. They didn't succeed. Then they ran next door and they carjacked the preacher man who was dropping off tables, and they stole his car, and then they led the police on a 10-mile-an-hour high-speed chase till they rolled the car, and that was it. Although, thankfully, nobody was seriously injured, and the small silver lining in that whole thing was they took the preacher's car, which was a old-ass van that we've kept running forever, and everybody hates it because it's just a pile of crap, and they wrecked that, so nothing of value was lost. Also, those kids broke out of the juvenile justice facility. But thankfully, they didn't hurt the preacher man. They just because they went over there, they broke into the church. They were stealing stuff out of the church. And then the preacher man drove up. He started unloading stuff. He didn't see them, and they took his van. The timing chain, Cooper man? What in the world happened to my chat over here? You're picking up a 2001 S2000 with 13,000 miles on it. A 75-year-old lady had it for the last 13 years. Yeesh. That's going to be pretty valuable. But Coop Man, if it's not, so tomorrow, I'll be having a Volkswagen Tiguan come in that needs a timing chain tensioner replaced. That was the one I made the video about. It needs the updated chain tensioner. And what we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to do just the tensioner, which is a little different, but it's fine. Because there's no reason to change the entire timing chain if there's nothing wrong with it, especially if they keep up on their oil changes. Hold on to that when you get it apart. Here, I'll hold the hood so you don't drop it on the windshield.
Damn. Can't get a grip on it.
Here, I'll get it. You hold the hood. Did you write down that he needs a hood strut?
Yep.
Cool. Good morning, Mr. Jax Obeys. Oh. Is he going to fix any of it now?
I have no clue. There is something else
I guess I should write all this stuff down on a ticket 8. Sorry. Nice. However, the chains do stretch. So if you really feel like doing it, it's not going to be wasted effort. Coop Man. So like if you got 136,000 and you want to put new timing chains on it and do it all, then good luck. I mean, it's not the worst. But it wouldn't be the worst if you did that. Because I've had the new and old chain tensioners both have an issue. Because in the vid, I go over how these are the two chain tensioners. This one's the bad one. This one's the updated one. And if you see them extended all the way out like this, then you might need a chain too, because that means the chain stretched out as the tensioner's taken up all the space it possibly can. But what's also ironic is that you can see that Volkswagen was trying to deal with two issues at once. They also know that they needed to make the chain tensioner a little longer to handle the chain stretching out some. So not only did they make it to where they don't want it to collapse, because that was the problem with these, is that this little mechanism is worked by this little stop. So that little stop will allow it to only ratchet one way. But what happens is that little stop, which is just a tiny, tiny piece of metal, this little piece of metal with teeth on it, it will break, and then your tensioner can just go all the way in. And if it does that, as soon as it starts up, the tensioner collapses and the chain jumps wherever it wants to. This one's still okay because it'll stop it. $3,000 sounds pretty pricey. It's always the smallest piece. It absolutely is. And so that's how you can fix that, but it's still faulty. It's just terrible design. However, if the best thing you can do for your Volkswagens, especially these 2 liters, is stay very, very on top of your oil changes. Like, do not go over. Do not be like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. 7,500 miles, change that. I think the temperature's dropping outside, which I think is what it's supposed to do. And I don't have my work jacket because it's somewhere at home and I don't know where. What the hell? 30,000 people locked inside Shanghai Disneyland after positive COVID test? Seems a bit extreme. Sorry, I just saw that on the front page of weather.com. Let's see. Yeah, it's supposed to pretty much stay 53, 54, 56, 57, 58. It's going to stay pretty brisk. Ooh. Tomorrow, 48 and 36 with rain. Are we going to get snow this year? It'd be nice to get snow this year. It's just gonna be kind of gross. I gotta fix the chicken coop so they have somewhere to sleep. I need to do that tonight. Up to a nice hot 39 degrees in Virginia. Good morning, it's 28 in Northeast Illinois. Yeesh. What's up, Iron Wolf? I did miss your automotive question. There it is, 2012 Toyota 4Runner, an okay vehicle? Yes, absolutely, actually. Common issues? I'm not sure. Snowed a bit in central Ohio. We're good. Save it for Sunday. Because I can dismantle that argument pretty quickly. But we'll save it for Sunday. How goes it, bud? Well, if it was easy, no, they'd do it themselves.
That looks like shit.
I agree, but there's worse. Did you?
Might be hot.
Good thing I'm wearing gloves. It looks like it's got a pretty solid connection, though. That's all that really matters. However, yeah, you clean that off. I would hit this with the wire brush or whiz wheel to make it nice and coppery. And then I'd probably just do this one just to get off any of the
Thanks for the info.
burn marks. You know? Just buff it all down so it's nice and clean. Why, no problem, Mr. Coopman. Thank you for the dollar bill, yo. Dollar bills! I was actually kind of curious. What election last night? I was kind of curious how the, let's say, other streamers were handling last night's circumstances that occurred.
The
This
dealer-
thing.
I have to get the part from the dealer.
I don't know how many.
Audi.
Which one? This one?
Audi.
Oh.
Yeah. So they say they always recommend doing a cap for the reservoir. What is your take on
That's
that?
fine.
Okay. Then we either have to do it all almost or not, because the lower hose is a next day order. So if you feel like it's leaking, I'm scared to just do
Just the reservoir and then find out the.
and then find out that we need the lower hose and then have to order that and wait another day.
Yeah. I'd get the lower hose.
Okay.
And I'd recommend it because it's not low enough that it should be dripping onto that part of the hose. I'll show you where it is so that way you can. It might make it easier when he asks questions.
Yeah. No. Mom.
So the bottle's leaking right there. It's got a big crack in the side.
Okay.
And so it's leaking down on that, making that crusty. The
Yeah.
lower hose is crusty back here.
Okay.
And it's crusty all around the little ring. You can see it if you look like down the top there. See that like white crust around the
Okay.
right. Yep. There
Right, I see it down
yeah.
there. Okay.
That crust suggests that, or says that hose is leaking some too.
Okay. Labor time.
That one I have no idea.
Because it gives me 1.95
For the lower hose.
for the lower hose.
Mhm.
There is no labor time listed in the guide for the reservoir itself.
I mean, the reservoir's like half hour. It's just a few hoses and some bolts and comes out.
Okay. And you would go Techstars on these, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And watch the viewer numbers go up. I'm gonna wash up. Oh Lord, shut it, shut it. Dave, did you find the diaphragm? Okay. Okay. That's the two cars I have for today, the Audi and the GTI. Unless something else came in that I'm unaware of. That's from the pads.
It's from the pads. Okay. I was going to say, because I was like, crap, we don't have any notes on that. I want to make sure I kill everything with
One phone call.
here.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't want to do the call back thing. Perfect. And John, I know Noah said he's at 4 millimeters on the rear. He can probably hold off maybe a little bit longer on that.
Another oil change or two. It depends on how fast they wear down.
Okay.
It'll let them know. I'm sure it's got sensors back there.
All right. Actually, it looks like they only have from the front when I look at brakes.
Well, then we can just tell them next oil change. Shouldn't wear out 4 millimeters in one oil change. Shouldn't. Oh, family's doing great. Oldest son's gonna be 18 here in a few days. So that's exciting. What else? Yeah. Everything's doing just fine. Oh my gosh, there's a girl on screen. How old am I? How old do you think I am? I mean, it says it on the stream. I'm 38. I'll be 39 this year. I'll be 39 in like 2 weeks. 55. Awesome. Yep, time does go. It's less obvious when you're like, well, I'm 37, now I'm 38, now I'm 39. But when your kids are 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, you know, those are much bigger milestones. Or when they're 10 and they're 11 and now they're 12. So I think if you don't have children, time tends to move faster and slower at the same time. Because every day seems like the same day. But when you have the kids, there's always new milestones that are being reached every day. Something new's happening. You get in some more patterns once they start getting older. But like, it's fun to think that my youngest son's in his 3rd year of playing baseball, so it's nice. And then my middle son is in his 1st year of playing baseball and doing quite well. He can throw a heater, dude. We did some pitching practice Monday night, and I was very surprised because he is currently Play-Doh where it comes to molding him for baseball, because he isn't really, it's not like other kids that I get at 10, 11 years old when we're playing baseball and they've had bad habits drilled into them for years. He never really played much in sports. He does archery, hiking, stuff like that. And so now we're like, you're going to play a sport. And so he's like, fine, I'll play baseball. And so he doesn't have any bad habits, so I'm trying to teach him all the proper techniques of how to throw and stuff. And as he's picking up on them, it's taking hold really fast. And so, like, I can hear the whistle of the ball when he's throwing me some pitches. He's 14, so. And he's also 6'1", 6'2", something like that. You can do it! Yeah, I mean, when I started working here, my middle son hadn't even been born yet. Now he's 14. And when I started here, the old boss's kids were in middle school, and now they're married and they have their own children. So, yeah, time scoots along whether you want to or not. I'm happy the Braves won. I was going for the Braves over...
So Virginia has said no thank you to Democrats' mantra of "you are evil" since skin color is more important than doing the right thing. 2022 and 2024
Oh
flip
my God.
possibilities.
Way to kill it, Mr. Man. Thank you for the resub, Mr. Man. Everybody on YouTube, we talk politics on the weekends, so sometimes that spills over into daytimes, but I'm trying not to have that happen, Mr. Man. You should save it for the Sundays. Let's see. I think I wrote everything down on that ticket I wanted to. Oh, I do want to write the mileage. $129,092. I just kicked the damn lift. It didn't feel good. Let me tell you that again. Oh, I already checked that one. That was an S5. That wasn't an A5. That's all right, Mr. Man. I'm giving you crap. But yeah, I heard it's, from what IPA said, that she's the first woman and person of color in state's history. So, and she's also a big fan of the Second Amendment and some other things. So can't complain. Sounds good. Why, thank you, Shaloop. Let me go see what is going to be happening now. 1 second. It's like a campfire. Anytime there's smoke, it goes towards you. That was me Sunday when we had our campfire going. I was stoking it, and it's like, ooh, you would like it, wouldn't you? And I'm like, no, stop. Yeah, it was fun. Well, first thing old boy could do is put some damn oil in his damned car. How does the mod view look on YouTube? There's not really a mod view. It's just you got powers to delete people's comments. Like I said, the YouTube chat is less, it's not as good. And I can tell you from what I can tell why. Because YouTube chat seems to be a custom built just chatting system using their own authentications and what they do for Google. Versus Twitch chat is IRC. That's it. IRC is what Twitch uses for chat. They just have like their own custom servers and stuff. So that's why you can do like /me and you can do all the old IRC command, a lot of the old IRC commands in Twitch chat. The different colors and all that stuff, that's all features of Twitch, or of IRC. That's not Twitch's specialty. They just reskinned IRC, which stands for Internet Relay Chat. Even the modding tools are the same. They're just a little expanded upon. I wonder if you ban somebody on YouTube if they can't see the stream. I can't imagine it would prevent them from watching your videos. What's the story behind the woohoo? Oh, let me load it up so everybody can see it in case they didn't watch it. Yoink, yoink. I'll just turn that off for the minute. We can do that. This, that. Close enough. You get the point. So this is back when I had long hair and wore a hat all the time. The fuck happened? So what I'm doing there is I'm opening up the back door. I'm opening up this door, and then we're also, what you heard start up was that exhaust fan right there, because that exhaust fan will blow air from there and down out the back door. So it's a quick way of venting the shop if we have to. And what happened with that car was Eric, the customer had filled up the oil till they could see it in the engine. They put like 20 something quarts in the car. Like they filled it to where they could see it in the oil cap. It's full now, and then it wouldn't start. And so they towed it here and blah, blah, blah. And Eric, we looked at it and we're like, the fuck happened? So, no, I don't need to, Shaloop. So the first thing he did was drain out all the oil and put in the correct amount of oil. He also pulled out the plugs, spun the engine over to try and blow out any oil in the plugs holes and make sure it didn't hydrolock, et cetera, et cetera. And that was what happened after he'd finished all of his like trying to clean it out, and then he started it up and it just smoked. It smoked and smoked and smoked and smoked. And that's why it was just this fog of smoke coming towards me. And I'm sitting there putting the camera back and I hear him start up the car and I turn around and it's just white. It's just smoke everywhere. So I'm really glad I caught that one on camera. That one was funny. They emptied the transmission oil and refilled the engine oil and overfilled it. Yeah, well, that wouldn't be the first time I've seen that either. We've had more than one car come from Jiffy Lube where they drained the transmission fluid, filled up the oil, and they're like, yeah, I need you to check the transmission fluid level. Jiffy Quick, and I don't know if it's specifically Jiffy Lube, but just, you know, them hurry up and change your oil. Oil doesn't typically catch on fire. It's got a pretty high flash point. And you'd have to really dump it on something, and most of the time it'll steam off or smoke off before it catches fire. But it can, and it was a thing that I had a bit of a panic about this weekend, because I took the family down to the campsite, and it's about 45 minutes to an hour away, and I took the shop truck, which leaks oil and it burns oil, but you know, whatever. So I mean, I had spare oil in the truck in case it needed it. We got there and it said it's low on oil, so I got to put some more oil in before I go home. Well, it's dark, it's cold, and the truck doesn't have the extended oil standpipe, so it's right on the top of the valve cover, and it's kind of hard to get to. And I managed to miss some of it, and so it went all over the valve cover and down the exhaust, and I was like, I'm gonna catch on fire driving home, I don't want to. I was really mad. I was ready to burn the whole forest down. I was so tired of being out there. I hate the shifters on the newer Rams. You shift it with a knob. It looks like a volume knob. And I wouldn't be surprised if somebody hasn't brought a car in somewhere because they tried to turn up the volume on the radio and shifted the car when they were driving. Mm-hmm. It's a knob. It won't turn while you're driving? Oh, thank God. I've never tried to turn it because I didn't want to find out if it would. Exactly, Diva. Let it burn. Oh, yeah. Don't. Did I drive manual cars in my life? I've never driven a manual car. We don't have manual cars here in the United States. Not a single one. In fact, it's outlawed in the United States at this point. All manuals have been taken out back behind the woodshed and shot. Not a single manual car exists in this building. Not a single manual car has ever come into the shop. I've driven manual cars like forever. My second car was a manual, and I drove that for 8 years. And then my truck that I got after that was a manual that I drove for like another 5. Yeah, and I drive tons of manuals around here. All of them are a little bit different. Ever stall it? Of course I've stalled it. I stall an average car on an average day around here sometimes. If you don't know where the clutch catch point is, and you start it up and you put it in reverse, and then you go to let your foot off the clutch, and the clutch catches this far away and you let it up that much, yeah, it stalls. And you can find out real quick how touchy that clutch is, or not touchy. And then sometimes your foot just slips, or your foot's not in the right spot, and you're like, oh, there we go. I'm glad I trolled you so well, Bad Virus. Do I like manuals? No, I hate them. They're tedious, I don't like driving them, and I'd rather have a DSG or an automatic. I hate driving in general, though. I don't like driving down the street. It's boring. Maybe if I went racing, that might be fun, but just driving to and from work? No, I would rather just start the car, put it in drive, and get there. I'd say about 25% of all the cars that show up here are manuals. It's probably a pretty reasonable, conservative estimation. It depends on the day. Some days all I get are manuals. So it just varies. And there are tons of people that can drive them. Parking brake. Ari, use your parking brake. If you're driving a manual and you're like on a steep incline, put it in first. Start letting off the clutch, especially if it's a front wheel drive car, you can feel the car like pull forward. Do it till you feel the car, so that way you find the point where you gotta get it, and then get ready. rev it, drop it, go. It's just you're using the brake with your hand instead of trying to double foot it, like trying to hold the rev and hold the brake at the same time. It's just a little easier. I do it all the time in our front parking lot because our front parking lot's a pretty steep hill, so I'll pull up to the hill, wait for, just leave it in neutral and wait, and then once it, you know, I see an opening, put it in first, find the shift point, and then vroom, 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 off we go. Fly to work? I saw that little personal electric aircraft. I would love to do that. We need we need a diaphragm. It's got a giant vacuum leak, and the giant vacuum leak is that diaphragm, so they're supposed to order me a new one, so that way I can replace that diaphragm, see how well it runs after that, because I need a new diaphragm to test to make sure everything else is going okay. And then once I do that, then we can move on to the rest of the repairs. Is that the Chevy that's overheating? Is it losing coolant? Is it losing coolant?
Yeah, he said, don't worry about the oil changes. He handles oil changes. Well, he ain't smart enough to check fucking coolant because there ain't none in it. Right here.
I see it dripping off the bottom of the radiator, I presume.
I hadn't even added anything to it yet. I figured I'd look here before I started.
Yeah. I think he's just overheating because he's running out of coolant.
More than likely, but I'm just now starting.
Right.
Because he says when the cooling fans come on, it brings the temp back down. Well, that would really make sense.
That does make sense. Why are the cooling fans not coming on before it gets hot?
Well, they're only going to come on at a certain temp. I mean, it's not hot. It's they come on at like 230.
Yeah.
And then bring it back down to 210. But lack of coolant, you know.
Doesn't help anything.
No.
Exciting. Oh yeah. Mm. I got it. Ooh, an older Accord. Let me guess, a 98. Is this even into the 2000s yet, or is this a 98 or 99? It's what?
It's a 90. This is the one I did the rack on.
Oh.
Remember?
How's it doing?
Not good.
What, something wrong with the rack still? I think your steering wheel's a touch off there, bud.
Playing by the noise.
Did it sound like that?
No.
What noise? Did they describe the noise?
That's scraping, but
All right, there's no tire right there. Let's try this. There we go. I'm off to a good start. My Captain Morgan failed me. Noticing a dragging noise more often in reverse after rack and power steering repair. Of course he's noticing it more now because now he's paying attention. $92,000 for 20 minutes of fun. Sounds like alimony. I mean, it's just that generation. It could be, I think it's 98 that they went with that new body style. Newer body style. Granted, I say that while half of the children in chat here are like, I wasn't even born yet. Yeah, I know. And that was the cars that were coming out new when I was working on cars in high school. I wasn't doing a lot with the cars in high school. Why Why is my chat not working in this damn thing? Weird. I've already reloaded it. I don't know if they should rename this. I'm looking at this tweet from the Apex show. What a fabulous evening last night to celebrate the Young Auto Care Network, Yang, to celebrate the next generation of aftermarket professionals during the Apex 21. Maybe you might want to rename your whole organization at this point, because I think people might get a little confused, or maybe it'll help it trend, who knows, from the Auto Care Association. I don't know, who do you guys go for your, like, I'm trying to find some bigger names to talk to for, I'm not just talking about other mechanics, but like organizations that push for right to repair and stuff, because that's something I want to make more of a thing. Looks like you're getting a tire. The back left tire is off and it was over at the tire machine. And I hear it a pop, pop. Well, I know Start My Own Movement, give me all the access for all the repairs I ever need for a car, but I don't think that's going to go over so well. And you're going to do it because I said so. You will see how quickly I can turn into a dictator. Nope, don't need a drip tip. It's sitting over there in my toolbox. This is why I don't need a drip tip. Because then I can do that. I need notch batteries here though. My good battery's charging. Yeah, I'm just really annoyed with how difficult it is for everybody in every industry to get information and schematics and knowledge that they need in order to repair the things. In order to repair something, I just need to know how it works. That's it. That's all I need. I don't need a whole guide on things. I mean, it would be nice sometimes, like, you know, take this off first, that off second, etc. Those are handy. But if you tell me how it is built, what bolts are torqued to what and how much they're torqued and what goes in where and how they interact with each other, then I don't need a guide. It's just, you can figure it out. It's not very hard. But that's actually probably one of the major things that I hate about a lot of those repair guides is they're like, okay, start with disconnecting the battery and doing that, and then you gotta prop up the hood, and it's like, okay, come on, I'm not 5. And so you start skipping a lot of stuff because you already know all that stuff, and then you skip important steps because they're all mushed in together. I mean, I expect the repair guides at this point to start getting to take your left hand and hold the socket. Then take your right hand, if you're right-handed, and then turn the socket in a clockwise direction for approximately 5 degrees. Like, I just want, like, an exploded view of the engine on some, it would be awesome, it could be interactive, like, holy, if we could make 3D models of this, and I'm censoring every swear word because YouTube, but if we could make 3D models of this crap, like, I could say, I want to find out how this engine works, and I could bring it up on the computer, and it's a nice, I can rotate it around, I could pull off parts, and like, it labels all the different, you know, bolts, like these are all 5 Newton meters or something, or 10. And then take that off, like click that to make it disappear, and then you can see what's under that, and it's like, click on it, it says, oh, this is that part. It interacts with all these other parts that are all colored. Cool, fantastic. What is the voltages that goes to this? What kind of a signal is it supposed to see when it's running correctly? If I was to take a scope and hook it to these wires, what am I expecting to see? So that way I can tell if it's broke. God, that would make life so easy. It would save so many people so much money. It would save me so much time. It would save everybody else years and years or millennia of times of desperation and frustration and aggravation and any other Asians that you want to throw in there. I have a question then. I know the Haynes manuals have been out forever, and those are pretty much made up by what? Dude taking an engine apart and then making a manual for it? Because I wonder how difficult it would be to, because I know we can make 3D models off of using the Kinect. Like I have an old Kinect on my old Xbox, and you can use that. It's got stereoscopic cameras on there that you can use to, basically you can use it to generate a 3D model. And so like I could take this engine and literally just scan it, take off a part, scan it, take off another part, scan it, take off another part, scan it, you know, scan the part, and we could just make our own 3D models and make our own little UI for like, this is how this engine is built, here's all the parts, here's all the specs, here's all this, here's all that, etc., and then have it. But it seems like the thing that pisses me off is they have to make them 3D models in order to make them in the first place, so just give us that! Ah! Once you're done building it, you don't need it anymore. Throw it out in the trash can. I'll claim it from your recycle bin. But that would be the question. If I took a motor apart and scanned everything about it and then backwards engineered all of it and then I published that, would that be copyright infringement? I still vote, and I still think that our patent system and our copyright system are fucking broke. That's the point. It was probably just right what it needed to be 100 something whatever years ago when they invented the patent system. But at this point, technology, markets, everything moves way too fast for people having a 10-year patent on something. But that's a whole other argument. You would have to figure out how you could argue what doesn't need to be released versus what does and why. I mean, I just want the right to repair. I want the ability to access the information. That's all I want. I don't know what's so difficult about this. I don't, but I do. That's the problem. Is all of my arguments that I ever make for anything that I do, I always try and figure out how can I blow up my argument, you know? Like, they have a diaphragm? Yay! For this? I mean, this part's like 10 minutes, but this is part of the diagnostics.
Right.
Because I want to put this on and then find out if it helps kill the vacuum leak and that this is the main vacuum leak. No, I just pulled off the diaphragm, saw it had a giant hole in it. And if this doesn't kill the whole vacuum leak, then we'll have to like start smoke testing it, various things like that. Diaphragm! Why, thank you. I'm pretty sure this is the main leak that's causing most of the problems with the idle. See, this has got a diaphragm. This is just a Dorman part. So this is the diaphragm. I guess I'll video it real quick because why not? A lot of people have this problem. Yes. Hello and welcome. We have a 2012 GTI. The problem is it's got a giant vacuum leak. And so what I did was I pulled this off This is our diaphragm on the oil separator, crankcase vent valve, PCV system, whatever the hell you want to call it, I don't care. And it's got a giant hole in the diaphragm right there. See that big hole right there? So we have found that you can buy aftermarket diaphragms. Yay! So we're going to take this one off. And all you do to get it off is you just have to unclip it. Just remember that the little tube here, this is the breather tube for the diaphragm to, you know, be able to move back and forth and not be stuck. So it faces that way. Let's see if we can do this one-handed. Everything on, yep. And okay, I'm gonna need two hands. Hold on. Put that on, that on, that on. Stay. Comes with a new cap too. It's a Dorman part number. Here's the, woo, my camera turned. The part number is 917064, PCV diaphragm. So if you want to order one yourself, there you go. All right, now let's see how it runs, eh? Gott loves the German engineering. Absolutely. Yep, I got all that hooked back up. I didn't take anything else off. Yep, because we have the, yeah, we started previous to that. So let's see how this does now. Oh, that's actually a lot better. This is obnoxious. That's all that bloody noise is. Looking at you, Belter. Also good news. We're not puking oil out of here quite yet. As you can see, we already did. Because this should apply a little bit of a vacuum to the whole system. When there's no vacuum, this will puke. I mean, that was most of it right there. Well, it's quite high because it's just cold start. Now it's doing much better. Look at that. Sounds like a normal car now. Let's watch the data. Mr. Data, please come here. Analyze this car for me. VCDS is on the way here. This thing's so stinky, I gotta open the door. There's no cat on this car. Whoa! You are plugged in. Why don't you want to connect? Failure to communicate. What we have here is a failure to communicate. What the? It's idling great though. Oh my God, now I gotta freaking QA test my scanner. What the hell? I scanned you earlier. What is your issue? Port status okay, interface not found. Why is the interface not found? It's right here. Let's just unplug it and restart the interface. There we go. Ugh. It's not one thing, it's another. Now it's not going to connect because it's not going to talk to the car, probably because it hasn't been connected long enough. It'll not work once, which is no response from controller, and then this time it will work. I don't know why. It just works. There we go. There we go. Fault codes, oxygen sensor, intermittent, system 2 lean on, blah, blah, blah. 32, 33. Alrighty then. Good enough. We still have a pretty significant vacuum leak, it looks like. But it is short-term fuel trims. We gotta wait for the long terms to kick in. It might be within the realm of tolerance, but the short term's pretty high, adding fuel. Where's my carb cleaner? Ah, here it is. We know it's not the diaphragm anymore because we just put a new one in there, but we'll spray it down anyway. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna graph that short term, off, 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 on. That only goes to like 50, so we'll do 50, and then, yeah, negative 50's fine. We'll just do 25. Nah, leave it negative 50. All right, so put this on the screen for y'all. There's that. So that is this orange line right there is our short-term fuel trim. So I'm gonna spray around in it to see if we can this is fuel basically. So I want to check any obvious places, make sure it's not sucking it past the seal. But there's one main place that I'm gonna check, which is little bit on that upper timing cover gaskets. But let's see if we have to pull a transmission on this car, eh? So here, I'll move that for just a second. Make sure I have my ducks in a row where it comes to the cord. We're not gonna be able to go all the way up because my cord's not quite that long. Hey-oh, that's what she said. We already know this thing's straight pipe. We already know it doesn't have a catalytic converter. What I want to find out is the rear main leaking? Is the rear main leaking vacuum? Because this thing had such a high vacuum being pulled on the crankcase, it is a very high probability that it sucked in the rear main seal. And so that's what we're about to find out, is to see if this has a vacuum leak at the rear main. So what I'm going to do, hopefully it doesn't change anything, but I'm going to spray carb cleaner right up this rear main and see if this drops significantly. Hadn't yet. Good sign. Yay, I don't have to pull a transmission. But I just go right through the little weep hole between the transmission and the engine with some carb cleaner, something flammable, and if it sucks it in, you'll see the thing drop. What else we got? I'm not sure if there's entirely a vacuum leak or a significant one, but that. I'm waiting for the long-term fuel trim to kick in, which it still hasn't. It hasn't gone into closed loop, it seems. It might be because it's got codes for rich conditions and stuff. Let's clear the codes out and try again. Although the short term didn't change, so I don't think we have a vacuum leak. I'm gonna have to do some push-ups or something. It's chilly out there, and I don't have my jacket, my work jacket. I have my regular jacket, but I don't really want to get it too dirty, because it's the one that I sit around at home in. All right, let's close this out for a minute. I'm just gonna, this thing goes, it pops up different windows every time you change things, so it's easier for me to just go through here. Let's copy those codes, put them on the ticket real quick before I good enough. Clear those codes. Awesome. 32, 33. And hell, already it's brought the short term down some, and now it should hopefully go in a closed loop. So again, we'll graph it. I gotta put on my jacket. It's that wet cold out there. It's just making me very chilly because I'm getting a breeze. Okay, sorry. I was messing with the graph scales so that way I can make it look better. So we can watch them a little closer. I tightened up the, I tightened up the scales on the short term. Now let's see if we get anything on that rear main. It looks like it was coming back up on something. I just want that long term. Close enough. Now let's see if that drops. It does. It's a very. Did I do that? What was up with that little? What's up with that little section right there that just freaked out? Nope. Just doing its thing. That's switching more normally. Why is it? Is the O2 sensor breaking high? Or breaking low rather? Seems like it's not doing its switching it's supposed to do right there. A little bit, but it's supposed to be a little less flat, a little more like the stuff down there. There it goes. See, and I was about to spray it, and so I'd be like, oh, I'm doing something. Good morning, Chica. And not that new. Oh, there we go. I was like, wow, something really changed. The long term kicked in. That's better. Oh man, that looks great. Let's get this on a scale that's better. 0. Oh, let's actually put this at -10. Put this at 10. And that's at 30 and 30. Oh, there we go. That fuel trim looks great. It was just looking wrong. So that looks great. 2%, 1 point something percent. It'll probably bump up that long term just a touch more. It might go up to like 3.5 by the time it all settles out. But 3.3, that long, so the top number that you see right, I can't tell what I'm looking at. Let me move this over here. Yeah, this way. So that top number right there is the long-term fuel trim. That number right there is the short-term fuel trim. This one might bump up a little bit more to adjust for that, but as long as that is under 10%, it's within spec. So right now the engine's running great. All that looks fine. It's switching better. That's the only thing that kind of bugs me. This amount of switching right in this section right here that's moving this way looks good. It's that section over there that's just kind of like trimming up. It might have to work a little bit more on that long-term fuel trim. Although right now you can hear what you hear right there. That is your piece or your evap purge valve. So it's feeding it some fuel right now. Actually, I don't know why it's feeding it fuel and it's telling it it's adding fuel as well. That's a little odd. Might be a boost leak. Come on, we can correct it. You still hear that clicking though? No, it went off the screen. What a jerk. Come on, correct yourself out. There you go. Bring it down. Bring it. Hey, you can set your watch to that tick. It's a bug flying around me. That's weird. But you never know when it's coming. I have not checked it. Well, I checked it. No comment from California. Corrected yet? No, it hasn't. Might be worth taking out for a test drive. I need to top up the oil some though. So let's do that. Let's top up the oil, probably go for a run, and come back. Maybe we can clear out some junk. get any codes yet? Nope, no codes yet, so that's good. That's all for that. Gotta put a clutch in your antique WRX. Shouldn't be too terrible. Kind of works. All right. That seems to have been successful, at least with that. So let's go drive it. We'll find out what happens next. But if you're watching this on the VOD, I guess I'm going to stop it here and let you know what we find out if there's anything more interesting. There we go. Alright, hold on a second. Let me go hit the restroom real fast. Well, I'll still clean. Hey, never mind. Somebody's in there. All right then, we'll put the under tray on while we wait for whomever it is to not be in there. I'm just gonna put the under tray back on. I'm on both, Tom. Make sure you check them both out. Yeah, you also like live up north somewhere, Scandal. I live in the south where most of the time it's above 50 degrees. Usually it's in the 70s to 90s or 100s. So yeah, I don't like the cold weather. I did when I was a kid, but not anymore. I see why all the old people moved south. I was doing something, and I forgot what it was. Oh, I remember. Copy. Yes, if you're not aware, please do go over and check out the YouTube stream as well. I am dual streaming to both, so that way we can grow the community as fast as possible. As possible. If you haven't gone over there and hit a like, that would be super stellar. Makes my life easier and better. So I stopped streaming on Twitch for about a month. I streamed exclusively on YouTube for that time, so that way I could get used to my new life of only having automotive on during the week and not talking politics, and that has worked out very well. And so then I started dual streaming, because why not? But I need your guys' help to make sure that the YouTube stays growing, or keeps growing. Hopefully grows faster. Yes, I cry like little girl when temperature gets below 50. No, it's not that bad. I mean, I like it when it's cool outside because then I get to do work in the yard, etc., etc. The only problem is working in the shop here. One of my big problems is, what's it called? I think it's like Raynaud's syndrome, where basically some of my digits start having issues with blood flow. And usually it's this finger, and this finger. And so they'll start to change colors because they're frozen or they're cold, and it hurts. So I gotta warm up my hands. That's the only thing I don't like. That's it. Other than that, the cool weather, great, love it. It's a nice change. I think YouTube is on the cusp of exploding in the streaming venue of things, because people are finding out how powerful streaming is. All right, now I'm gonna go hit the restroom. 1 second. So much better. It's one of those moments that you didn't realize how long you've been procrastinating that until you go do that, and then you're like, wow, I feel a lot better. Might need to cut the heaters on soon. I mean, we got the heat pumps going, which is basically the air conditioner. You know, if you don't know what a heat pump is, it's a reverse air conditioner. It tries to warm up instead of cool down. We got those going, which is keeping it manageable in here, but with this breeze and how cool it's getting quickly, you might try cutting on our infrared heaters just to knock the chill off. So I don't have to wear a jacket. Be a man! Yeah, shut up. I don't think I have any other jackets here. Alright, lift's all kicked out. So that's probably also, that's why you see me walking around with my hands in my pockets a lot. Is because I'm trying to keep my hands warm. Well, let's go drive and load up the phone. It gets really bad, like with my digit problems, when I get water on them when it's cold. Right, we want to do that too. Yeah. I totally forgot about topping off the oil. I would have remembered it when I was starting to back out of the bay. I'd have been like, oh, Man, I has the sleepy. About a quart in here. Ooh. Kick the tire. I got it. Pretty good right there. Maybe this way, just a shade. Did you find anything, notice anything when you're driving it?
Yeah, I know what I'm doing.
What'd you do wrong? Something. What'd you do?
I put the tie rods in on the wrong.
You put the tie rods on the wrong sides? Oh no. Rip. No, well, better not figuring it out. It's all right. We're all human. We all do dumb things sometimes. No one will notice. I mean, he didn't damage anything. He's got to swap them and then align it again. I gotta check out. It's the thing I hate about winter. If there's one thing I dislike about winter, it's now I gotta check everybody's tire pressures constantly because the temp's dropping so fast, everybody's tires are going flat. And if you're in a wintry part of the country or world or whatever, and the temps just started dropping, check your tire pressures. They will start losing pressure. Rule of thumb is, if you use PSI, every 10 degrees Fahrenheit is 1 PSI of pressure. I don't know what that translates to in your weird communist system known as the metric system, but boy needs to put some air in these front tires. Surprised this TPMS isn't all pissed off. All right, we're gonna have to drive this in a more spirited way to make sure we get a good test on everything. So let's go for some spirited driving, eh? In a 6-speed manual GTI. Eh? Let's check it now. 1 quart later, and we are beautiful. Beautiful. Cool, it's good, yep. All right, we're good to go. Try that again, now that we've topped off some things. Need some sunglasses. Need a phone. Full send. I need to go blow my nose. Because I'm about to sneeze. Hold on. Good morning, Mr. Heretic. Cool. Where'd my phone go? There it is. Smells like they haven't broken in that exhaust. It smells like burning exhaust stickers. This might be an exciting run. Ah. Damn it. Good Lord. Is it really that well connected? It better not be connected through the Wi-Fi. No, Wi-Fi's off. This is the best connection I've ever had. We'll find out if I lose connection when I get to the door, or get to the front parking lot, then I gotta come back and fix it. We gonna lose connection? No? Sweet. Alright, off we go. Nobody coming. On to exit, go. Does okay. I would like some warm air, please. To my face. Yeah, it did well. We'll take this one on the interstate so we can use the on-ramps. The blow-off valve. Well, at least we have another chance to accelerate. Oh, there's a pretty lady behind us, too. Got to show off for the ladies, right? Accelerates great. I get up to speed very fast and then I just cruise. Actually, I'm going 5 under the speed limit. Oh, nice warm air. I think it drives really well right now. Not gonna lie. And I think we may have done all this with a... I don't know how much that part is. I'm gonna go with like 20 bucks just to overestimate as much as I can. I figure it's probably like 10 bucks. Maybe it's 30. I don't know. I'll find out. If I remember. Help me remember. Aw, she winked at me. All the Instagram girls coming at me. Stay back. Aw, man. A big tractor trailer got in front of us getting on the interstate. Now we can't have any fun. What a jerk. Granny shifting, double clutching, blah, blah, blah. You shift like my grandma. Well, considering when your grandma grew up, she probably only had manuals. That is sketchy as hell. There's a flatbed trailer-like truck with like stop signs and stuff set in slots in the back, but they're not like strapped down. It seems kind of sketch that one of those signs might just like whoop, and then you got a steel plate flying through the air on the interstate. All right, we should be in third. Let's find out. Yep. Awesome, let's get back on the interstate. What do you guys want to see? Damn it, I keep catching my elbow on that thing. I ain't gonna try and slide anywhere. She does good, man. She does good. Can't complain. It drifts to the left, though. It wants to go that way. Wait, I'm mirrored right now. Nah. This isn't a right-hand drive car. I forgot to turn the mirroring off. Lol. We's in England, boys. Pip, pip, cheerio. Ha ha ha. God save the Queen. Ha ha ha. I sure love my tea and crumpets. Ha ha. Would you like some fish and chips? It'd be great. I love it. All right, I'm getting a little hot now. Thank you. You did what? You said what about me mum? How dare you? Toffee's just gonna punch me. Oh man, I was hoping we hit the red light and I could hit the mirror on the camera. She drives great though. And to think it's all because there was a torn boot in the booty. Not in the booty. In the diaphragm. Torn diaphragm in the vent valve. Hell yeah, Bobby. Hell yeah, Bobby, I tell you what. Propane and propane accessories. What, Bobby? I gotta find my Hank Hill impression. Damn it, Bobby. So right now, pop the balloon, meatwad. Okay, stop yelling at me. So right now, where are we going? I don't know what's going on. Come on, we driving back to the shop right now. So once we get back there, we're gonna have all the good times with the lunch with the friends in the hizzy. Let's go. Come on. And then we're gonna take it out. We're gonna go out, make sure that we got all the fuel trims perfectly going well, and then everything else. So they got these thin blue line air fresheners. I don't know. I wonder if they smell like pork. Hey, he makes jokes. They smell like bacon. Man, that's always so cool. I'm sorry, there's a vulture that like lives on top of that church steeple or something like that. It's got the big steeple and it's got the little cross on the top, and there's a vulture that stands on that cross all the time. It's like, it's so on point. It's cute. It's just like it's the same spirit that there's a billboard that I need to take a picture of for you guys, because there's a billboard that has the slip and fall lawyer, like, you know, dial all nines to get the slip and fall lawyer to go and take you to court or take your case to court, whatever. Have you been injured? And it's next to a fish market. So on top of that billboard, there's just a line of vultures sitting there all, you know, vulture-y. And I think it's just too good. Do what now? Yeah, exactly. Okay. We're back here at the shop now, okay? We're gonna pull in this bay, and then we're gonna get out and check some things, maybe check for codes, and then we're gonna get this thing back, and it's gonna be great. Customer's gonna be so happy. We got to fix this for pennies on the dollar. Man, my connection is great. It's like a 3-second delay. How did it get so good today? Usually whenever I do this, the connection's terrible. I wish I could do it again. Anyway, see you on the flip side. Why, hello. It's been so long since I've seen you. Such transition. Much production level. Wow. I need to make another one. I think I know how I want to make it too. Make it, the gear like rolls in front. Yeah. Maybe 2 gears. Yeah, it's a manual. It's a manual. So I'm sure y'all, at this time of the year, have some problems with static electricity. Electricity, not erectricity. Well, I mean, maybe it depends on how old you are. Anyway. One thing I like to do to avoid the tragedies of zapping yourself on things is you have a nice little pick tool. You can grab it from the plastic handle, then you can grab this end, and then you can go touch something metal with the end of the pick tool, and you won't get zapped. You'll hear the pop, but it won't zap you. It's great. You can do it with your keys too. If you're getting home and you get out of the car and it's all like, staticky. Like you get home, you take off your jackets and stuff, and then you go to touch the doorknob and zzz, and it just sucks. Why is my hair sideways? All right, scanner. Hey Noah, you ever watch Aqua Teen Hunger Force? Oh God! Why do you fail me at every turn? Hasn't seen Star Wars, hasn't seen, what else didn't you see yesterday? Oh, Spaceballs. Can't watch Spaceballs because he hasn't seen Star Wars, so it wouldn't make much sense. I mean, God. Hasn't seen Aqua Teen Hunger Force? It escaped through the giant hole. Yes, Carl is my favorite. Get out of my pool. Yeah, I saw them in '87. Flat Brim has seen, he watched some newer of the Star Wars ones because some of his friends wanted to go see them, but that was all. Only what? Only one of them? Do you know which one?
The first new one that came out.
The first new one that came out? Okay. Well, at least it made 0 sense to you then. And you got to hear everybody being like, oh! And you're like, I don't know what people are freaking out about.
This looks cool, but I was like, well, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on, but it's a thing. Yes! No fault codes found. Oh, beautiful. Even more beautiful. I have numbers for face. You can't even tell I'm smiling. Wouldn't you like to know if I'm smiling or not? So, as you can see, here are off-throttle fuel trims, long-term, look very good. They're under 10%. And over here, the short-term, or the short-term's obviously 0 because the car is off, but the long-term fuel trim is 1.9, which is beautiful. So, we're looking great. We are looking fantastic.
Is there anything I need to know about this?
What'd you ask?
Is there anything I need to know about this when I'm doing the brakes?
Not particularly. Not just giant caliper.
It's gonna be set up, so. Is there anything I need to like disable or anything?
I see the light. No. This doesn't have like a parking brake or anything like that. You just push the pistons back. Those bolts that hold the caliper on are like that big, and they'll slide all the way out because that little, the slides on this they're all encapsulated. You don't have to worry about pulling it apart and looping it or anything because it's all one big unit. And then you take that off, and then we'll see if we can sneak the rotor out, not even have to take loose the caliper bracket. Noah, what's your top 10 favorite movies? Do you have 10 favorite movies?
Probably not.
Probably not. What is your favorite movie?
Probably Inglorious Bastards.
Inglorious Bastards.
By Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, we all know who Quentin Tarantino is. Well, if you like Inglorious Bastards, have you seen Pulp Fiction?
I have not.
Have you? You know you should watch it? Okay.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
And then if you like those, you should probably also watch Clerks and Clerks 2. Mm-hmm.
I've never seen that.
Although, in order to enjoy Clerks, you probably need to watch Star Wars. And if you want to watch Clerks 2, you're going to have to watch Lord of the Rings.
I've seen Lord of the Rings.
Oh, you have seen Lord of the Rings. He is part of civilization.
I like Lord of the Rings.
Look at that. He likes Lord of the Rings.
I've seen
Oh,
all 3 of those.
nice. At least you're not a total failure. Thank you. Little redemption right there. Exactly.
Yeah, Inglorious Bastards and probably maybe Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, you have seen Full Metal Jacket.
That was
Impressive. I'd have thought Full Metal Jacket wouldn't have been on your menu.
No, that's
But-
a good one.
So you like war movies.
Yeah, and then what was that other one? Scarface or whatever. Scarface.
Inglourious Bastards, Kill Bill, Pulp Fiction, The Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight's a good one.
Hateful Eight's a good one. Yeah, well, The Inglourious Bastards, that's the one I was thinking of.
Never seen Kill Bill.
Granted, Kill Bill came out when you were like 5.
Yeah, I remember seeing the commercials for it. But
The Big Lebowski. I haven't seen Full Metal Jacket in a long time. I need to watch it again, just for the sake of watching it again. Actually, the movie I'm watching right now that I just started last night, I'm like half an hour into it. I decided to watch Enemy at the Gates. It's an American movie about Soviet Russian Stalingrad and like after that, stuff like that. It's interesting. I'm trying to see how accurate it is. I mean, mostly I want to see a good war movie, but no, I'm not charging them anymore because they have air fresheners in there. If I did that, then I would charge everybody an infinite amount of money for the amount of black ice air fresheners that exist. I can't stand
Who made this?
the black ice air freshener. Oh my god, that is too good. Yeah, I haven't gotten all the way through it yet. I basically just started it. An ad under the stream, you say? Well, that sounds no good. Are they trying to YouTube it up? If you haven't already, please do go visit my YouTube and maybe subscribe to it, things like that. Currently also streaming there as well. But yeah, I think we're pretty much done with this. I mean, I got the problem fixed. Oh, let me go ahead and record it off. So we ran it down the road, ran great, came back, hiccups, checked the fuel trims. Fuel trims are great. Yeah, it just had a giant leak in the diaphragm and fixed that. Solved the problem. I don't really know what else to do for it now. It's good to go. So if you're watching this on the short version, we do live stream all day, every day. Well, every weekday that I'm here at work. And thanks for watching. Cool. Just VOD. So I have the all-day VOD that is on YouTube, which we break into 4-hour chunks. And then from there, I even record them locally on my hard disk, so that way I can take my USB drive home, edit it all together in a nice, concise fashion, easily, and then upload it to YouTube as a repair guide or a diagnostic or whatever the hell you want to have. Oil on the blow-off valve. I mean, I'm still probably going to recommend he does an upper timing cover gaskets, and he's insistent that the chain is rattling and that he wants to replace the chain, and he keeps. He sent us 5 videos of the chain rattling in the morning on a cold start. You get out there in the morning, you start up, and then it goes away. So if he really wants me to change the chain that much, I'll do it, but I don't know if it's going to make it stop rattling on cold startups in the morning, because it's just kind of what they do sometimes. Once all the oil pressure lets out the tensioner, then it'll have a little bit of play in it. The idea is that it hopefully should only last half a second, maybe 2 or 3 seconds, until the pump pumps up the chain, and then it goes away. The problem is, if you had it like that Audi A6 we had, what, 4 months ago, where with the car running, you could just hear the chain rattling around in there. But that was a rear chain on a timing belt car. So, anyway, I'm gonna go up front, tell them what I have found. I'm going to let this car sit here while we eat some food, because it is 12 o'clock, it is lunchtime, and so I'm gonna let that sit here. Maybe it'll build off some pressure. We'll start it up again, see if we hear a chain rattle. I know it's not a cold start because it's not like sitting all night, but you know, leave it for an hour or so. And so other people have been seeing ads under the stream on Twitch. Is it like the stream and then it's under it, or is it like on the bottom of the stream screen itself? Like if this was the stream, is it down here or is it right there? Are they pushing it through with the video, or are they pushing it through like they remodeled how the whole system is laid out? Speaking of which, I'm gonna go throw my ramen in the microwave. I got homemade ramen. Well, the ramen came from the store, but everything in it was homemade. So it's super delish. But I'm gonna go ahead and get it warmed up, because I am super the hungries. Those springs are probably going to be the most fun on this thing. How do they work? Get a pair of pliers, pull them in, and then you got to pop them out. It hooks, so it's just like a little hook like that, and it hooks into that little eyelet. It's just irritating.
Pull them in how? Like,
Let's see. Let's grab this and grab this. So like this. You might use like these big things to push it up, and then you can pull it off.
okay. Makes sense.
You've been seeing it there in Arizona. Man, DJ Tom is everywhere. I appreciate that, man. There are 9 of you that are doing a good job being in the YouTube. And you have my deepest, deepest thanks. Do you pull back the,
Not yet.
because that's, you're never going to get past this lip.
Yes.
So you want to press the piston in at least a good bit now. Okay, now I'm going to go up front and tell them what I have done over here, and then I'm going to eat. You guys can yell at Noah about doing brakes while I do that. Yell at Noah. Yell at him all day.